Hello and welcome back. In the last section, we made a few changes related to cars, and now it's time to access the APIs on Heroku from our front-end UI. Okay, so I have opened my application here, and I'm going to go ahead and essentially start my inspection tabs. All right, and in here, I'll go to the network, go ahead and clean the logs here, and let's hit unbrowse. Alright, looks like the problem persists here, interestingly. And let me take a look at the console if there's any errors in here. Okay, looks like there is some cars related error here. Yeah, I think there is a problem here. So essentially there is a problem with our scheme here, right? We have an additional edge here. That could be the reason for this issue. So what I'm going to do here is essentially go over to the .env file, and let me go ahead and change this. Control S, and I need to bounce this server again, and let's say npm start. Super. And this should again throw up a new window, and hopefully this time around it should be okay. Alright, and that's come up. Let's go ahead straight away and click on browse. This time around we get the dishes and the categories, and if we go back to the network tab, let me go ahead and refresh this. Come back here once again. Alright, and I just want to see, yeah, this is actually coming from Heroku. Okay, all the photos and the dishes and everything, right? Yep, and everything is successful. Super. So yeah, we are able to now get the stuff from Heroku. All right, and the next thing is to actually go ahead and check in the front-end code now to our GitHub repo, and then essentially push it to the Netlify environment. Okay, so let's see how we can go about it. First thing is we have to go ahead and essentially look at the source code right over here. Okay, super. So if I do a git status here. Alright, so we have all these changes which are related to our catalog component, right? So in here, what we're going to do right now is we're going to say git. So we're going to create a new branch, obviously, and I'm going to call that API-catalog, yeah, and it's going to be 2.0, obviously. 2.0 FE catalog, not API catalog. Alright, so git branch -m, and this is going to be called, we're going to be calling this 2.0 API catalog. I think that's how we named it before as well, right? I just want to make sure we're following a consistent naming convention here. 2.2 API catalog, yeah, that's how we named it. Okay, catalog, okay, super. And I'll say git add dot, okay, and git commit -m, and I'll say catalog related changes. Alright, okay, super. And then I'm going to go ahead and push. Okay, super. Let's see. That should make its way up to the GitHub repo. Yes, it has done that. Let's take a look at it on our GitHub repo here, and that's gonna be somewhere here, by the way. Not here. Let me close it. Things should be here. Yeah. Let me head over to the. I thought not the API guy, not the API in the cafe. It has to be the FE in the cafe. It has to be FE in the cafe. Let's go over to my list of repositories. It's going to be FE in the cafe. Okay, super. So there is a request for a compare and pull request. We will go ahead and essentially do that. Before I do this, I want to go ahead over to Netlify. Okay. And in here, I want to make sure the automatic deployment is not set. We looked at last time, And let me go ahead and look at the site settings. And I don't think I have the, let's look at build and deploy. Hopefully the auto deploy is not set up. It's not checked. Probably, I think probably here. Yeah, I'll just say stop auto publishing. Stop publishing, yeah. Inside the site settings, I'm going to go ahead and site settings. Let's go ahead and change the name here. Let us say Indie Cafe. Alright, super. We have this in place, and the next thing we want to do is we'll go ahead and do the essentially merge the pull request. First, create the pull request. Okay, it's checking the validity of our request. Hopefully there's no conflicts there. I'll allow that to complete. Alright, so we got all the checks passed here. And I'm going to go ahead and merge this pull request, confirm merge. So we should have this merge done right now. Okay, so our master branch is up to date. Super. And the next thing that we can do here is we can go over to the settings for Indie Cafe. And in here, to the build and deploy, we need to have a few variables set, okay? So over here, I think there were some environment variables. Yeah, that's the one. So we need to get some environment variables, essentially the ones that we have defined here. If I go back to my Indie Cafe, we have these environment variables, okay? So I need to get them in here. So there is a way to actually do that in a way that's not very tedious. So what we're going to do here is I will head over to this particular link here, and they have a client here for that's called Netlify CLI, and we can go ahead and install this, then do all the interesting stuff for that, including transporting our environment variables from our local setup to the server. Okay, so let's go ahead and install this right now. I've already installed this, so essentially installing it again will just update it. All right, so what I'm going to do is, and I'm going to go ahead and install it globally. I hope I can copy this. Go ahead and copy this. Head over to my terminal. Right here. Okay, and just copy this. This should complete quickly because I've already done this once, and I'll just be getting the updates down here. Alright, so that's done. It added a few packages in here. Essentially did an update. It says Netlify init and Netlify deploy. What I'm going to do here is essentially connect or create a Netlify site from directory. I don't want to do this because we are doing this from our GitHub, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to say Netlify, and this should give me a list of commands here. Okay, so essentially to do multiple things, you can also log in and link a site, unlink a site, and look at env, which is something that we want to control environment variables from the current site. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to say Netlify login. Okay, so if it looks like I'm already logged in, so otherwise it generally opens a window and essentially allow you to log in, and once you're logged in, it'll take you back to this particular screen here, okay, to the command line window. You can check Netlify status, and if I do this, it says your project here is not linked to the Netlify to Netlify essentially, right? And it is saying, why don't you do this, run this Netlify link here. So let me go ahead and do that. Clear screen, Netlify link, right? And it'll say, do you want the current remote origin, or do you want to? So what I'm going to do is choose from a list of recently updated sites. Okay, and that's what I'm going to choose this option, and I'm going to say I'm going to go with Indie Cafe. Okay, super. So right now it's linked, and if I do a Netlify status back again, it should give me a clean status now, including the URL and everything. All right, super. So the next thing that we want to do here is essentially Netlify And I think there was an env there. So if I do env minus help, it should give me examples here. It says env list and also env import. Okay, so if I go in, let me clear the screen again. So right now, if I do a dir/a, it should list the .env here. This is our env file, and I can do a type .env. It should list the respective variables, the environment variables that we have defined. Alright, super. So next, what we're going to do here is netlify env, and I think that env minus help. Let me go and check the help again. I think it was env and import. Yeah. So I'm going to say env and import. Essentially, it's going to import and set the environment variables from .env file. Okay, and I'm going to say .env. Okay, and enter. And this should essentially, send all these variables to our site. All right. If we head over back to Netlify here and look at the settings again, let's go to General, come back to Build and Deploy, and Environment. We should be able to see the environment variables. Probably takes a little while, I suppose. Click that again. Site Settings, Build and Deploy. Sometimes it takes a while. Settings, Environment Variables, Environment. Interesting. I know it takes a while at times, but generally should happen pretty quickly, in my opinion. There's nothing here right now. Interesting. Alright, so looks like I didn't essentially update our environment variables. Quite likely because this is actually a beta feature, not necessarily a feature that's mainstream or general availability, right? So it says here. So what we're going to do here now is we're going to go ahead and manually create these variables. Okay, ideally, yeah, if this had worked would have been great, but apparently that's not to be. Okay, so let's go ahead and create this and key in the values as well. Okay, let's go ahead and copy this. All right, and create a new variable. That's gonna be the timeout, and this is 5,000. I'm gonna just manually key this in. Okay, and let's say save. All right, super. And what else do we need? I think that's about it. So essentially, we need the environment variables to be there up front, otherwise our deployments are going to fail because there is no default values that we have set in the deployment right now. Okay. All right. So let's head over to our deploys tab. Okay, and to IndyCafe. And in here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to manually trigger a deploy. Let me go ahead and turn it back on. Okay, this is start auto completion here, or maybe we can trigger a deploy here. Deploy site, clear cache and deploy site. Yeah, super. So let's see if that actually goes through fine. I'm going to wait on this. Alright, looks like the deployment went through fine here. It says success, right? Build script success and deploy site completed in 132 milliseconds. Let's see, a little bit longer actually. Build completed in 24.3 seconds. I think this is what I was probably referring to. No, not really. It took a whole lot longer actually. The next thing we can do here is we can go ahead and preview the deploy. Okay, so let's click this and it should bring us our IndyCafe app. Alright, and the thing that we'd be interested in here would be the browse app. And hopefully, yes, super, this is excellent guys. Right now we have our IndyCafe React app running with Netlify, and that's essentially reaching out to the APIs deployed on Heroku. Okay, so this is working super. All right, what I'm going to do next is go over and access the actual link. Okay, let's head over to Indie Cafe. Yeah, and let's access this. Super. Let me head over to the browse. Okay, it's taking a while. I'll wait. Alright, so let's go ahead and say publish deploy, and that'll make it essentially live. Okay, the earlier one that we saw was a preview, and that's why we're essentially seeing the older version of our app. Okay, so let's see, unlock publishing, start auto publishing. Okay, super. So let's see what happens now. And if I go over back to here, I should hopefully see the new version. Go to browse. Super. Yes, this is what we wanted. Excellent. And this is great progress, and very excited and very happy about this progress that we've made already here. And the next thing is to essentially look at, let's see if we can actually add the cart. Yeah, super. Excellent. Alright, it actually goes to the cart. We don't have the cart component up and running yet. Okay, so we may have to wait until the cart component is functional. So let's take a quick pause here. We'll come back and then do the cart component build up. We'll discuss that, the design, and in terms of what we need to do, and a lot of subsequent things that follow the cart component. Okay, so let's head over back to the app, and in here we're able to see our new app, and especially the product catalog. All right, and this is doing pretty nice already. All right, we'll take a quick pause and come back soon.